Lovely morning and welcome to the program. Today, is my name. Unfortunately, there are several communities that quiet revolution is underway. One powered by not by government projects or foreign aid, but by the people themselves. In towns and villages, cooperatives are becoming engines of self-reliance, helping farmers, traders, and artisans pull resources together to lift one another out of poverty. Today, more than 13 million Nigerians belong to cooperative societies, and across the country, these groups have mobilized over 1.8 trillion naira in savings and disbursed more than 1.3 million naira in loan, giving millions access to credit outside the reach of conventional banks. Here in Ondo State, the movement is even more pronounced. The Ondo State Cooperative Federation accounts for 25,000 registered cooperatives active across all local government areas from Akoko to Ilaje. These cooperatives empower thousands of small-scale farmers and traders, offering technical support, credit facilities, and group marketing opportunities. A study among cocoa farmers in Akure North revealed that over 90% of members receive technical advice and access to buyers through their cooperatives, while cassava farmers in the state who belong to such groups produce up to 20% higher yields than those who do not. For many rural households, joining a cooperative means more than belonging to a group. It is a pathway to better income, stronger community ties, and sustainable development. So on this program this morning, we will be exploring how these grassroots networks are transforming lives, expanding rural economies, and proving that progress is possible when people work together. Now, guys, already here. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll hit the ground running. Please, do stay with us. Welcome back. This week, taking a look at the role of cooperatives in economic development, especially in Ondo State, and how we need to do that histories. Today in the studio, I have Mr. Samuel Adebusuyi, Director of Operations of Akure Owuru Cooperative Multipurpose Union. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. So let's take a look at cooperative societies. How do you describe them?
Cooperative society is just like how it first started. It's like people coming together to pool resources together and access greater resources that their manpower can give chance to at a particular point. So it has evolved over time through countless digital means and development and what's called again and again. So it basically allows people who have vision. People join cooperative for two major reasons. Number one, personal development. Number two, for business expansion. So at that moment, the ability to access finance might not be there than particularly, but through cooperatives, we allow those like that to be easy to achieve.
So what would you say is the disposition of people to these cooperative societies?
It has grown over time, I would tell you that. Formally, even as at now, we've been trying to change the narrative of people concerning cooperative societies. People believe that cooperative society is where they take your money and go. If you join, you are at risk of being of fraud. It's okay, 100,000, 1 million, putting their resources in one basket. So one thing about that, everybody will not need money at the same time. That is how.
So do they do that on regular basis, on monthly basis, or how?
Daily, weekly, monthly. We have people that, okay, per day, once they make sales of day, there is a zero value that's like you should not use all fingers to it. So after sales that day, they just put something safe because opportunities come in various ways.
Like it's also like a job.
Like definitely, like it's also a job. So, but then, like I said earlier, growth as a reality and change meaning narrative and all. So you just pull.
And then we talk about digital, we've also come to how that also involved coming into the modern technology and also trying to push that business. But how would you say that people actually have costs in that cooperative, but also go away with people's money. So how do you do it?
Basically, even in that cooperative, there are people that even still do that job. Is number one, discipline. I would say help in that regard, because when they do a job and all that, they actually have seen people that use that a job. So even okay, they know that they want to make payments at the end of the week. They do this daily agent when they put money in the hands of one person. So at the end of the week, when they collect that money, they pay it into the cooperative societies. Whereas I've seen people that okay, maybe the agent they are doing basically they see that okay, this one is much more beneficial to them than that agent, because agent is basically like savings. It is what you put there that you pick. You want to know like that.
Okay, I was about to ask you what is the difference between this cooperative society and agent and the one we refer to as government lantern.
That's a very common term in terminology in cooperative in finance language. The difference is that cooperative, number one, they basically will give you times 3. Our cooperative now, let me speak for our cooperative now. Let me generalize it, because
that might not be applicable to all.
To all, yes. Okay. In still these same states, I've seen cooperative that give times 2, that give 1.5. But we in our cooperative, we give times 3 of whatsoever you have saved there at that particular moment. After joining, we will give you times 3. So it's different from Agile that, okay, I've heard somebody use the term Agile as, okay, if you collect first, you collect loan. If you collect last, you collect your savings. Basically, it is what you have saved there that you pick up. It is not like that in cooperative. You have the chance to apply for times 3 of what you have.
So how many members do you have?
We have basically up to 25,000 members.
Okay. Your own cooperative?
My own cooperative.
Across the state?
Across the state, across the country.
How do you mean across the country?
Across the country, because, okay, now, this is, our headquarters is in Akure, as you know. We have people in in Southwest region, even in the east, that okay, they do business at the point in time they've done business and abroad, they get to know about this cooperative over the internet. And basically, last year, 2 years ago, we have a major pool of people that migrated both to other states in the country and even outside the country, and they are members of the cooperative. They still continue to be members of the cooperative.
Okay. So how do you see the role of the cooperative society in driving local and international and national economy?
Cooperative is let me say, at the center of it all, because when the people in a particular geopolitical zone are doing very well, it in turn increases the rate of development of that particular zone. Now, cooperative societies are the number one. It improves, it gives increased employment opportunities. Currently now in our cooperative, we have more, if I add the subsidiaries together, I'll say I have more than 40 staff on our payroll employed currently. And now those people that are members of the cooperative too, they are running businesses. And when they are running businesses, they employ people. You can, once you are doing business, you can hardly do it by yourself. So you give opportunities to other people to be employed. It increases the employment rate. It increases access to finance to small-scale enterprises, most especially. Those are the grassroots. So it's by when they have access to funds, they are able to scale their business further. They are able to improve their business. So it helps them develop their business. And in turn, they employ more people, which in turn helps the economic development of that particular state or country.
You said you give two-thirds of one savings to whoever.
Times 3 of the savings that you have with the cooperative. That is what you have.
So at what point will the cooperative also come to you to ask for money?
Before you can even come and ask for money, number one, you have to be a member. You have to be a member of that cooperative. So after being a member of that cooperative, you make savings per day. Because once it concerns money, as you all know, money is a very crucial, very important aspect of living. So, and it's also a very risky thing. So after being a member, you have to have made savings. You would have seen your capacity for the period of 6 months before we can give you one. We do not just say...
And no amount of savings. The amount of savings does not matter.
The amount of savings does not matter. We just want to know your capacity. Because there are people that will just go and learn, borrow, and okay, just put it and say they want to go times 3. At the end of the day, when you return that money back to the person you borrowed it from, it does not even allow you to do that in business properly. You now start paying back money you do not even use, like you do not invest in your business. So we spread across 6 months. Let us see your capacity in 6 months. So basically, after we've seen, you cannot, people can, what's called, do a lot of things, but that 6 months will give us an average view of what this person is capable of.
Let's not just suppose the cooperative society, how they give loan or how they give money to their members with that of the conventional banks. What would you say is the difference?
Number one is access to those loans. Unlike conventional banks, number one difference in cooperative and conventional banks, number one, there is no ASU about collateral. That stringent rule of collateral. There is no. And that has derailed the majority of small scale business and even large, medium sized business from approaching the bank, the conventional banks for loans. Because you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to lots of paperwork, lots of things in between. Whereas the business is suffering. If they have access to loans, to finance at that particular moment, they can use it to boost their business. So that is one difference. Number two is the interest rates. Cooperatives, you cannot compare the interest rates in which cooperative people have loans to conventional banks. It is very,
so
very.
What is the interest rate for cooperative?
At around a cooperative, we give 1.5%.
1.5%.
That is 15 naira on 1,000. If you're lending 1 million naira, your interest rate for that month is 15,000 naira. Now, compared to conventional banks, based on the last report I read, the CBN approved the interest rates for banks was going to 34.2% to 1.5%. Not even 3.4.
Would you say this, the SMEs are also making use of this advantage?
Even SME, but now large corporations, business, large, even that have more business people that are doing much operations now, they are withdrawing from banks little by little because day after day, weeks after weeks, months after months, the interest rates keep reviewing, it keeps going up, and it is fixed. Unlike our cooperative, we operate on what we call reducing loan, but we're reducing method interest rates. Whereas if you apply for loan, we charge interest based on the money that remains with you. If you apply for,
how do you?
If you apply, let's make a practical example. Okay. If you apply for a 10 million naira loan or a 15 million naira loan, and use it for business, as we all know now, we are going to season now, what we call December season. People are so you are able to make sales and make profits for that November, December, collect it October, November, December, and let's say you pay 500,000, 1 million back out of. So from that 10 million, you paid 1 million. The 9 million naira that remains in you is what the interest is being charged on.
Okay.
Not the whole 10 million naira. So it encourages people to repay back the loan faster. Because once they repay back, other people on the line, other people on the queue too, that want to access finance, that want to access loans for their business. So it encourages other people, if you pay this money quickly, your interest rates. Once if you borrow 1 million naira, you take it this month, you pay it back next month. So you are just paying 15,000 naira interest.
Do you have the capacity to borrow money to give loan under 20 million naira?
By the grace of God, we have to do.
That's also applicable to virtually all cooperative societies?
I can speak for our own cooperative.
So do you also have a mechanism in place to also track those who get loan from you and not willing to
repay? Attestation, guarantor, someone that can say, okay, this. So not necessarily you have to have house in Canada land, or you have to have multinational collaterals before you can access it.
Is that actually working?
It has been. But like every rule, there is exceptions. For every rule in future, there is exceptions. There are people that want to be difficult, but then we have rules in place. We have cooperative act in place. We have the ministry in place, which we treat those people under the law.
So what has been the government to cooperative societies in ensuring that they also this what they are doing very well?
Basically, first of all, the government and their intervention in cooperative societies, they've been a very great help to cooperative. But like always, there is room for improvement. Basically, according to there is a new law in place under the president's regime. Was the cooperative revamp federation. So now they want to make cooperative central communities development. We believe that cooperative are closer to the grassroots than even conventional banks. They know the people better. They know the geopolitical area better. So this is how they want to come in now. They want to create a fund basically for cooperative. That's not been in existence for quite some time. And another way we can help in improvement is through technical know-how. We do not want to go back to a stage or an age where cooperative societies are being known for fraudulent people or fraud in general. So before anybody can just come up and say want to create a cooperative, we should intervene. It should be duly registered. There are places for that. It should be duly registered and accountable for people money with them. So it will not be like once somebody just create a cooperative, you get no, we are not doing it because you have a bad experience about that. So those are interventions, those are ways, and improving the legal also, the judicial sector, the country in general is something we can improve on also. Now we take it basically to cooperative now. There are laws even binding all these financial online agencies that borrow money and embarrass people and from stop doing that. That will also help. If there are also laws that can even hold people that borrow and want to do it, if there are laws that can hold them accountable. So it's not just the financial situation that you don't need to, you must not embarrass them, sending messages to contacts. The government has put a hold to it now. So if there are laws that can hold those people responsible, we should do it.
I also have the issue with the integrity of even the executive members of each cooperatives. One might also have 1 million naira in a particular cooperative, and they ask for 10 million naira. Do you think that also telling enough?
No, actually, it is not good because another thing that affects cooperative, they are very right, is mismanagement, managing those cooperatives. So the cooperative might start well quite right. And those people in the management offices, they get greedy and, like you said, you have one million to apply for 10 million just possible because why? You're in the seat. It's a cause for concern. It is also not so right. But then with the good work the Ministry of Commerce and Osrc they are putting those executives under close constant monitoring, in which account, like I said, I'm speaking for our cooperative now, our accounts are audited at least 2 times in a year by 2 different organizations. That is the Ministry of Commerce and Cooperative and also Osrc.
So if anyone is
options in the system, then we make people understand that okay, this is just one person. It's not. So the faster they are being caught and they are named in the board, the better it is.
So we were trying to talk about data into this cooperative. You also deploy a data to ensure that you have smooth money.
Basically, we've improved, like I said, from code. There was a time that it's just paper and biro, which they call you go call 7. But now it is not like that. Like I said, we deployed what's called technical know-how and the fact that now our reconciliation and even means of payment plan, they are now technological. It does not, it's not paper and so there is nothing like that. Number one, it saves time. Automation of those payments and automation of recording. It saves time, it's transparency, and even reconciliation and auditing purposes are super. So improvement on it, ICT is improving every day. Now we are going into the phases of AI, where we can even use AI to combat even fraudulent practices of both management and staff, and even the operators. So technological innovation has been a very good innovation to people in general, in which they tend to if you give them one step, they tend to overdo or overuse those opportunities. Now, you made an example of the management and executive in that cooperative, and one it is still people. It was also that okay, it is not yet there, they've not used that 10 or 6 months to they want to do business, one thing, and they want to overuse those privileges. And those are the end of the day, those are the people that support the name of cooperative. Because if we start listening to and listening to all those things like that, the cooperative may end up backing up.
So in the next few years, we have to go to see cooperatives. But I don't know they even used to have properties all around for that corporate society. So what's the future for corporate societies?
The future is very brilliant. We are going in this moment trillion naira investment opportunity, even in Nigeria. So we are looking at cooperative helping even those rural areas develop. We are looking at cooperative form of investments for foreigners to come into the country. Okay, they are saying the work that cooperatives are doing, they want to key into it. Because now, even if you want to, how would I put it, you want to give out grants and you want it to actually get to the grassroots, I would not like to. Cooperative will be the best place to do things like that.
Also, think that you also have the capacity to support government projects, just like the conventional banks are also
doing. Yes, just like because cooperative, in particular, there's something we call the CSR, that's called your responsibility as a cooperative. And that particular area that you are in, there's this responsibility that we innovated and we rolled out on our members, where we sponsored most of them to most of their kids. Those that are mostly single parents or they have issues in their education, where we sponsored some of them to schools as much as the university level. And we have women that are not. We are trying to improve the state of women and youths in cooperative doing business, not just depending on women are supposed to be set up. Where we give them interest-free loans.
So not also affect the chances of couples as opposed to get money from that cooperative society?
No, it does not. It does not, because in that way, once you do that, once they return, I bet the next one they are collecting now, they've seen a means of livelihood. Now they save more. At first, it's without interest. Now they save because they have a means of livelihood. Now, when they save and people like that, now it's even giving other corporators access to much more funding.
25,000 cooperative societies registered in the state. Is that not true?
Corporators.
No, cooperative societies. 25,000
cooperative societies in the state. I would say it's not. There are still gaps to be filled. There are still projects to be done. There are still businesses to be done. For a nation as a whole, the standard of living of the people in that country has to be improved. And like our name, the more access you have to funding, the more your profit can increase. The more access you have to funding, the more people you can employ.
Let's look at this figure: 1.8 trillion saved and 1.3 trillion in loan. Very different.
1.8 trillion saved, 1.3 trillion as loans. Basically, I mentioned a point also. Everybody cannot access loans at the same time. There are some people that, basically now we are entering the season now. Now it is season for, should I use those people that do sand, the quarry people. Now it is, we are going to their season. Now they are not asking, they might just be saving. Why it is for provision, those who do provision, in clothes. Now we are entering their season. They are the ones accessing loans now. So there is going to be always different that figure. And I can even bet that figure there is going to be improvement.
In the last 25 minutes, I've been speaking with Mr. Samuel Adebusoye, Director of Operations